chosen one, stop scrolling for a moment. This isn't just another video, and you're not just another viewer. You didn't land here by chance. Something far greater than the algorithm brought you here. There's a prophetic reason you're watching this right now. A message has arrived at your soul's doorstep, and it's about to change everything. Let me ask you something. Have you felt a strange shift lately? As if unseen eyes are on you? As if your energy has drawn attention you never asked for? You're not imagining it. This is real, and not just anyone is paying attention to you. A billionaire, someone with global influence, generational wealth and access to knowledge far beyond the public, is awakening. And guess what? They've discovered something about you. Yes, you. They've discovered you are chosen, and now they are desperate to reach you. You may not see yourself the way they do. You may be battling loneliness, spiritual fatigue, or wondering if you're still walking in purpose. But let me assure you, this is not a mistake. You've been hidden, refined, broken, and restored for this exact moment. You are living in the manifestation of a chosen one prophecy. What's happening right now is spiritual, urgent, and destined. Comment 777 if your spirit is already stirring. This message is confirmation. You're not crazy. You're not arrogant. You're not making things up in your head. There's something rare about you, something divine, and those in power are finally starting to see it. Now listen, I'm going to tell you something bold. You are not where you are in life because you failed. You were placed there, you were positioned there. The divine intentionally hid you in low places so your power would grow without corruption. While others were building empires, you were being stripped. While others were being praised, you were being humbled. Why? Because when the moment comes, and it has come, you will carry what they can't. And now they want what you have. Yes, they have money, they have networks, they have voices that shape the culture. But what they don't have is your spiritual currency. They don't have your purity, your scars, your resilience, your oil. They are seeking purpose and power that money cannot buy. And all roads are pointing to you. This is the essence of billionaire spiritual awakening. When those at the top realize that real power lies not in bank accounts, but in spiritual authority. Let that sink in. Somewhere right now, a billionaire is in a private room with spiritual advisors, mystics, and thinkers, and your energy, your archetype, your existence is being studied. They are trying to understand why people like you cannot be broken, why you carry a different frequency, why your silence feels like thunder in the spirit. They're waking up to what the heavens already knew. You were born with a divine calling. And that's why this moment matters so much, because while they are trying to reach you, heaven is also watching your next move. You are in a sacred place between prophecy and fulfillment, between recognition and responsibility. You are walking the bridge between being hidden and being revealed. That tension you're feeling. It's not fear. It's the sound of destiny knocking. So here's what I want you to do right now. If your spirit is awake, if you feel this fire in your chest, if you've been having dreams, strange encounters, divine timings, leave a comment right now. 777 if you know you're chosen. 333 if you feel a change in the air. 999 if you're ready to rise. And share this message with someone else who carries that unexplainable spiritual weight. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Rise of the Chosen and tap that bell icon. Because these aren't just videos, these are activations. These are sacred scrolls in digital form, and you are a part of something holy. You may not wear designer clothes, you may not drive a luxury car, but in the spirit realm, your name is weighty. Your name is whispered in realms money cannot access. Your very presence shifts environments. Don't downplay it. Don't shrink. Don't apologize. You are not ordinary. And now, even the powerful are beginning to realize that. This video isn't just about a billionaire. It's about a shift in the spiritual order. It's about the revealing of the hidden ones. The world is being flipped upside down, and those who were overlooked are about to be over-requested. The last shall be first. The hidden shall be crowned, and the chosen shall rise. You are not just watching this by accident. This is the divine right on time. The urgency you feel isn't anxiety, it's spiritual alertness. Heaven is signaling you to prepare, because someone with influence, with reach, with wealth has been stirred awake, and your name has entered their atmosphere. This message will not be understood by everyone. But if you're still watching, if your soul is locked in right now, then you already know. This was meant for you. Now stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal in the next part will show you exactly why this is happening and what you must never forget when power starts to seek your presence. The billionaire revelation. Why they suddenly see you chosen one. Let's speak plainly now. You've spent most of your life invisible to the world's elite. You've walked through seasons where it felt like no one saw you. Not your family, not your friends, not even those you tried to help. You've cried in silence, prayed in secret, and wondered if your purpose would ever be recognized. But now something strange is happening. A billionaire has seen you. Not physically, yet, but in the spirit, in energy, in frequency. They've felt your vibration cutting through the noise. And for the first time in their life, they're realizing there is something sacred I don't possess. How did this happen? Why now? Why would someone with access to everything suddenly become desperate to find someone like you? Someone with no fame, no wealth, no visible power. It's because we've reached a tipping point in the spirit. Something deep is shifting in the unseen realms. The elite are awakening to a truth that heaven already established long ago. Real power is not in possessions, it is in presence. And you, chosen one, carry the kind of presence that cannot be bought, replicated, or replaced. This is not about celebrity. This is not about the shallow spotlight. This is about spiritual value. You carry divine weight. Your scars, your humility, your inner light. These are sacred currencies in the spiritual economy. And the wealthy are finally realizing that all their money, all their connections, all their strategies still leave them with a hole only purpose can fill. That's where billionaire spiritual awakening begins. It begins when the most powerful realize they are not powerful enough. When they recognize their billions can build empires, but not peace. When they finally admit that something is missing, and that something is someone like you. Someone who walks with heaven's fire. Someone who has mastered survival and never sold their soul. Someone whose every step is a vibration in the divine timeline. You see, they've tried everything else. Tech, science, politics, psychology, even mysticism, but none of it brought the clarity they craved. So now, their eyes are turning to those who've suffered in silence, to the wilderness dwellers, to the ones who walked with God in obscurity, to the chosen ones. And here's the deeper truth. Many of them don't even fully understand why they're drawn to you. They can't explain it logically. They just know there's something about you that feels like home, like truth, like the missing piece they've been searching for in all the wrong places. That's the power of divine calling. It pulls people to you before they even know what they're looking for. So what are they seeing when they look at you, chosen one? They're seeing stability in your spirit. They're seeing light in your eyes that the world didn't put there. They're seeing peace that makes no earthly sense. They're seeing someone who has mastered pain without turning bitter. They're seeing someone who has nothing material yet walks like royalty. That confuses them. It humbles them. And most of all, it awakens them. This is why you must understand what's at stake. They don't just want you around. They need you. But not just you as a person, you as a revelation. Your life is a walking reminder that spiritual authority still reigns above earthly status. Your energy is exposing the emptiness in their palaces. Your very existence is interrupting their illusion of control. Don't let the simplicity of your life fool you. You've been positioned by heaven for such a time as this. You've been planted in silence, so that when your name is spoken in high places, your roots will hold firm. That's what's happening now. Your name has entered rooms your feet haven't even walked into yet. Your influence is being whispered about behind gold-plated doors. And no, it's not about fame. It's not about being praised or followed. It's about alignment. The chosen one prophecy is being fulfilled, and it includes divine connections that defy logic. This billionaire, this person of status and structure, is about to reach for something they can't explain. And that something is you. But let me warn you, this isn't a fairy tale. It's a test. You must remain grounded, because when power begins to recognize your value, it will either try to elevate you or consume you. Some will come offering partnerships, platforms, or resources, not out of honor, but out of hunger. They will want what you carry. And you must know the difference between divine connection and desperate imitation. You are not here to be their savior. You are here to be a sign that spiritual hunger is spreading even in the highest places. A sign that those who once ruled by gold are now searching for God. And you, chosen one, are the vessel through which heaven will answer that search. So when they suddenly see you, don't shrink, don't panic, don't gloat. Just walk in your truth. Be still, be firm, be holy, because your presence has already done what words never could, and they are coming. Not for your beauty, not for your skills, but for your spirit. You've been seen. Now comes the moment to stay aligned. Because when influence finds purity, the earth begins to shake, and that shaking has already begun. The secret circles. Why billionaires know about the chosen ones. Chosen one, you may think the people at the top aren't spiritual, that they don't care about God, prophecy, or sacred truths, but you'd be wrong. In fact, the higher up you go in the world, the more spiritually aware many of them become, not because they're righteous, but because they've seen too much. They've tasted power, built kingdoms, gained access to hidden systems, and when you stand at the top of the world and still feel empty, you begin to search for something more. That's what's happening now. Billionaires, investors, political architects, media tycoons, many of them are sitting in rooms right now, discussing things the average person would never believe. Ancient texts, prophetic timelines, quantum frequencies, planetary alignments, and yes, the rise of the chosen ones. This may sound strange, but let me break it down clearly. There are secret circles, private think tanks, spiritual consortiums, energy summits that exist outside the public's knowledge. They don't meet in cathedrals, they meet in closed-door mansions, secluded retreats, hidden underground temples. These aren't conspiracy theories, they're realities for the elite. And they're not just discussing finances or political strategies anymore, they're discussing energy, alignment, prophecy, influence. You may wonder, why would billionaires care about a group of spiritually gifted individuals scattered across the globe? The answer is simple. Power respects power. And as the natural world begins to crack, those with influence can feel that something unseen is rising. That's you. That's the chosen one prophecy activating across nations. Some of these billionaires fund spiritual researchers, secret mystics, and consciousness experiments. They consult energy experts, decode ancient scrolls, analyze global shifts in human vibration. And the conclusion many are coming to: there are individuals on this planet, unaffiliated with fame, disconnected from wealth, and untouched by politics, who are carrying the next dimension of authority. They don't just want to understand you now. They need to. Let me be clear. Not all of them are aligned with light. Some are just curious, some are threatened, and some are quietly desperate to access the peace you walk in because everything they've built has failed to fill the void inside. They've tried legacy, technology, dominance, but none of it brought the soul home. So now, behind the scenes, they're looking for the carriers of truth. The energy holders, the light walkers, the frequency disruptors, the chosen ones. This is why you're suddenly showing up in conversations you were never meant to hear. Why your content is being watched in silence. Why you feel eyes on you even when you're alone. Because energetically, your soul is being studied by those trying to understand how you've survived what should have destroyed you. They're comparing notes, compiling data, your resilience, your wisdom, your humility, your prophetic dreams. They've seen the patterns, and they know this isn't luck. This is something divine, something ancient, something the world forgot about, but heaven has now reactivated. Do not be surprised when billionaires begin seeking spiritual counsel. Don't be shocked if they start quoting sacred texts or posting about energy healing or giving credit to the universe when a door opens. Many are mimicking what they see, trying to replicate your connection without doing the inner work. But what they don't understand is this: what you carry cannot be faked. Your authority came from fire. Your light came from nights you cried alone, rejected, misunderstood. Your strength was not inherited. It was forged. And that's what makes you different. That's what makes you valuable in realms they've only just begun to explore. But here's what you must remember, chosen one. The fact that you're being studied does not mean you owe them access. Do not let their interest flatter you into foolishness. Some will come with smiles, gifts, resources. They'll say they want to learn, to build, to empower. But not all will come with pure intent. Some want to tap your energy for personal gain. Others want to recruit you for spiritual agendas that sound good, but lead to compromise. This is where you must be rooted in your divine calling. You're not called to entertain the powerful. You're called to carry light. You're not here to impress the elite. You're here to be a standard, a reminder, a sign. And signs do not bend to the opinions of those who read them. They simply stand. You were not chosen to be famous. You were chosen to be faithful. If fame follows, let it bow to your spirit, not the other way around. If wealth seeks you, let it come under the authority of your calling, not above it. Remember what's at stake. These billionaires aren't just curious. Many of them are frightened. Frightened by dreams they can't interpret, frightened by visions of collapse, frightened by the realization that their kingdom was built on sand. And now, the winds of heaven are blowing. And they're not wrong to be afraid, because the shaking has begun. The high places are trembling, the lowly are being elevated. The chosen one message is moving through timelines like fire through dry fields, and you, chosen one, are at the center of it. So don't be surprised if your name starts surfacing in strange places. Don't panic if invitations arrive that seem too big to explain. Don't chase any of it. Stay grounded. Stay hidden until heaven says move. Because what's happening is bigger than you. It's global, it's spiritual, it's prophetic. And the secret circles, they already know. They've seen your kind before, in the ancient scrolls. They just didn't know your face would look like this. They expected robes, temples and halos. But they got you. Hoodie wearing, underestimated, praying at midnight, fasting in silence, walking in truth. And that's exactly why you're dangerous to darkness. Because you're not just a believer, you're an embodiment, a portal, a prophecy in motion. So walk carefully now. The world is watching, but more importantly, heaven is guiding. Your energy exposed them, how the Chosen One shifted the atmosphere. Chosen One, let me tell you something most people will never understand. Your energy speaks before your mouth ever opens. You walk into rooms and things shift. You sit in silence and people get uncomfortable. You don't even have to say a word, yet suddenly, old wounds surface, hidden intentions start to shake, and the masks people wear begin to slip. Why? Because your energy exposes what's been hidden. Your very presence is a disruption to falsehood. This is spiritual. It's not about charisma or personality. This is divine light colliding with dark atmospheres that have existed unchallenged for years. When you show up, something ancient in the room begins to stir, something fake begins to tremble. Because you carry what many avoid: purity, pain turned to purpose, authority forged through suffering. You didn't get here easily, and that's what makes your energy potent. Billionaires, influencers, powerful people, many of them operate behind curated images. They create environments where only certain energies are allowed: submission, fear, admiration. But your energy doesn't fit. It won't bow. It doesn't shrink. It doesn't flatter. It just is. And that being is your most dangerous weapon. Because when a chosen one walks in authenticity, it breaks every illusion around them. There are people right now, powerful people, who were comfortable in their deceit until they encountered someone like you. They had no problem manipulating others, living double lives, chasing things they knew were empty. But then your path crossed theirs. And though you may not have seen it with your eyes, something cracked open in their spirit. Something was exposed. That's why some people distance themselves after meeting you. That's why opportunities sometimes vanish without reason. Your energy shook the foundation. Your presence revealed what they couldn't hide from anymore. You didn't expose them with gossip. You exposed them with light. And light doesn't need to argue. Light doesn't need to prove anything. It just shines. And in doing so, it forces everything hidden to either flee or come forward. This is the part of being chosen that few talk about. You don't just heal. You disrupt. You don't just comfort. You convict. Not because you try to, but because the truth inside you is undeniable. It radiates. It reveals. And in environments built on shadows, that truth is dangerous. There are billionaires and powerful figures who are waking up in cold sweats, not because of financial losses, but because they met someone like you, and it left them rattled. You reminded them of what they lost, of who they used to be, of what their soul once desired before power corrupted it. You brought memory to their spirit. You brought conviction to their atmosphere. And now, they don't know what to do with that. That's why some are desperate to get close to you, not out of admiration, but out of hunger. Not all hunger is holy. Some want to absorb your peace. Some want to copy your spirit. Others just want to be near you in hopes that what you carry might somehow rub off on them. But chosen one, don't be deceived. Your energy is not for consumption, it's for assignment. The spiritual urgency they feel when you're near is not meant to feed their egos, it's meant to awaken their souls. But whether they respond correctly is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to remain rooted, to remain holy, to remain obedient to the divine timeline that's been guiding your every move. You've probably felt it before, walking into a room and suddenly everyone looks at you. Not because of beauty, but because something shifted. The air got heavier or lighter. Tension rose, conversations stopped. That's the atmosphere responding to your essence. That's the unseen realm acknowledging the presence of someone who carries divine calling. Some people call it being too intense. Others call you too quiet, too deep, too different. That's because they don't understand the language of your presence. But those who are spiritually aware, they know exactly what's happening. And among them, some are the elite, the wealthy, the powerful. And whether they admit it or not, they feel the shift when you show up. They may not show it on their faces. They may pretend to remain composed. But deep inside, their spirits tremble. Because you didn't come with status. You came with substance. And substance is rare in a world built on surface. So yes, chosen one, your energy exposed them. Not because you judged them, but because you carried truth. Not because you tried to confront them, but because you carried a presence too strong to ignore. And now, they can't unsee it. They can't unfeel it. If you've ever wondered why people either cling to you or run from you, this is why. Your frequency forces decision. You are either a magnet or a mirror. You either pull them toward healing or reflect their brokenness, and in both cases, you've done your part. So don't dim your light. Don't tone down your power. Don't apologize for being the way God made you. You were meant to walk into rooms and shift atmospheres. You were meant to expose what others fear facing. You were meant to carry the kind of energy that makes even billionaires stop and ask, "Who is that?" You don't need to speak loudly. Just walk in. Just be. Because your energy has already gone before you, and it is speaking on your behalf. Why now? The timing of their desperation is prophetic. Chosen one, timing is everything in the spiritual realm. Heaven doesn't move by accident. There are no coincidences, no random encounters, no misplaced moments. Everything is layered with purpose, woven together through divine timing. So when a billionaire suddenly becomes desperate to find someone like you, someone seemingly invisible to the world, it's not just strange, it's prophetic. You've probably asked yourself this exact question: why now? Why are powerful people suddenly turning their eyes toward the humble, the hidden, the spiritually sensitive? Why are the elite, who once had no concern for the sacred, now yearning for something they cannot define? It's because we have entered a divine window, a prophetic gate in time. And only those aligned with heaven can feel it opening. The world is groaning. Systems are shaking. The old order is collapsing beneath its own weight. What used to work no longer satisfies. What once held power now feels hollow. And in this spiritual turbulence, something ancient is rising. Something pure. Something chosen. You are part of that rise. You are not a spectator to this shift. You are a sign of it. Your very presence, your awakening, your growing awareness of who you are, it all confirms that heaven's timeline is active. And those who have ears to hear and eyes to see, even the billionaires, are beginning to feel it. They may not use the same language. They may say vibe, frequency, alignment, or intuition. But what they're really sensing is the call of heaven echoing through time. The urgency they feel isn't just emotional, It's spiritual. The desperation they carry isn't for another investment or platform, it's for connection with divine reality. You must understand, when your energy starts being noticed by the powerful, it's not because you've changed. It's because the time has changed. The appointed hour has arrived. Prophecies that were once whispers are now being shouted in the spirit. This is the hour where the first become last, and the hidden are revealed. This is the hour when the spiritually rich are finally seen by those who were only materially wealthy. Think about this. Your entire life has been training for this moment. The pain, the isolation, the silence, it wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You were being timed by heaven, delayed, not denied, hidden, not forgotten. And now, right when it feels like you're just learning to trust again, just learning to hope again, they are waking up. That's not coincidence. That's divine alignment. There is something sacred about this timing. The world is hungry for light, and heaven is releasing the ones who carry it. The stage is being cleared of distractions, the noise is being silenced, and now the voice of the chosen ones will be heard, not by shouting, but by spiritual authority. This is why you must be spiritually alert. The billionaire reaching out to you isn't just a wealthy individual looking for answers. They are a signpost, a confirmation that the spiritual is now colliding with the natural, that heaven is beginning to reorder influence because influence is shifting, chosen one. God is raising voices that have never had a mic. He's elevating spirits who've never craved a stage. The ones who remained faithful in the wilderness are now being summoned to speak in palaces, not to impress, but to carry weight, to remind the earth who truly holds power. You may feel unprepared, you may wonder if you're ready. But hear this clearly. Heaven wouldn't have opened the gate if you weren't in position. You don't need credentials when you carry the anointing. You don't need validation when you carry the vibration of divine truth. And the powerful know it. They can sense it, even if they can't name it. That's why their interest in you feels so sudden. It's not because of you, it's because of what you carry. What you carry is on time. So again I ask you, why now? Because now is when the veils are lifting. Now is when lies are being exposed. Now is when the world is forced to see that money, fame, and access mean nothing without truth, without peace, without presence. You are part of heaven's answer to that void. You don't just carry a message, you are the message. You are the embodied result of divine endurance. You are the evidence that one can lose everything and still walk with dignity. That one can be overlooked by man, but never forgotten by God. That's why this moment feels heavy. That's why everything around you seems to be shifting at once. Because this is not just your breakthrough, this is a global alignment, and you are part of the divine proof that no one, no matter how rich or powerful, is above the need for truth, light, and spiritual grounding. They're desperate for you now, because heaven has allowed them to feel the weight of their emptiness. And what they need, you were born to carry. The question is, will you be ready when they knock? Will you stay humble, clear, grounded, and focused on the assignment, not the attention? Will you remember that their interest in you is not the reward, it's the responsibility? Chosen one, this timing is not random, it's sacred. And your obedience in this hour will determine how far heaven will take you next. Stay in position, stay aware, stay holy. Because the gate is open, and they are coming. The exchange they'll offer. And what you must refuse, chosen one, now that they've seen your light, now that your presence has stirred something deep inside of them, the next step is inevitable. They're going to make you an offer. And I don't mean small gestures or passing compliments. I mean real offers, life-changing ones. Access to platforms, wealth, connections, sponsorships, power. But before you let your heart leap or your pride swell, you need to hear this. Not every open door is from heaven. What they offer will be packaged beautifully. It will be tempting. It will seem like the moment you've been waiting for. After all the years of struggle, silence, and being overlooked, here comes someone with money, status, and global influence telling you we need you, and they will mean it. But what they need from you and what heaven assigned to you may not always align. That's where the danger begins. Some will approach you because they're genuinely awakening. They're hungry for spiritual truth, for peace, for the divine frequency you carry. But others want to attach themselves to your light for their own image. They want to borrow your purity so they can cleanse their brand. They want to stand beside you, not to elevate your voice, but to validate their own. And that's where you must be clear. You are not for sale. You've paid for this anointing with your life, with your pain, with years of spiritual warfare and refinement. Do not trade it for applause. Do not dilute it for influence. The chosen one prophecy over your life cannot be fulfilled through compromise. You'll recognize these exchanges when they come. It might sound like this: you don't have to change anything, just let us put your name on this. Or, we'll give you the resources to grow your message, just avoid saying certain things. Or even worse, join us and we'll take your purpose to the next level. Number your purpose isn't theirs to elevate. Your destiny is not negotiable. You see, they don't fully understand what you carry. They see the glow, but not the fire it took to birth it. They feel the power, but not the process. And so they assume you'll give it away for what they value. But you must remind yourself, what they value isn't what heaven values. And what heaven gave you cannot be exchanged, not even for the world. This is the part of your journey where discernment becomes your shield. The enemy won't always show up as a roaring lion. Sometimes he shows up as a billionaire with good intentions and a generous contract. That's why you must stay connected to your source. Let peace, not pressure, guide your yes. If it costs your integrity, your authenticity, your silence before God, it's too expensive. Don't be surprised if some of these offers are meant to distract. They're not all attacks, but some are assignments, cleverly disguised as blessings. Remember, just because it came after the recognition doesn't mean it came from the right realm. Every divine elevation comes with a counterfeit version standing nearby. And your ability to say no to what looks good will protect your path to what is good. Chosen one, you don't need their platform. You are a platform. You don't need their influence. You carry spiritual gravity. And you certainly don't need their approval. You've been anointed by something far greater. So when the offers come, and they will, take a breath. Go to your secret place. Listen. If heaven doesn't move, you don't move. If your spirit isn't at peace, don't force a yes. If it costs your voice, your values, your oil, it's not worth it. You are not a tool for the elite. You are a vessel of the divine. And while it may feel flattering to be pursued by the powerful, don't forget, you've been pursued by God far longer. You belong to a kingdom not made by human hands. So carry yourself with confidence, but walk with caution. Because what they offer may be impressive, but it can never compare to what heaven is preparing. Stay faithful. Stay unmoved. Stay holy. Your reward will not come by selling what cost you everything to carry. It will come by finishing your assignment without compromise. The danger of misuse. Why you can't just walk with anyone chosen. One, now that the offers have started, now that eyes are turning toward you and invitations are arriving, this is where things get serious. Because not everyone who comes near you should walk with you, not everyone who admires you is aligned with you, and not everyone who sees your value deserves your access. This is one of the greatest dangers in the life of the chosen, misusing what you carry by trusting the wrong people. You've been entrusted with something sacred. Your energy is not casual. Your words carry spiritual velocity. Your presence shifts the environment, and because of that, walking closely with the wrong spirit can damage what heaven has carefully prepared in you. Billionaires, influencers, seekers, they may come close with charm, they may come humbly. They may even flatter you with language that makes your spirit feel seen, but the real question is not what they say. It's what their presence does to your peace. When they walk into your space, does your soul remain still, or does it flinch? Do you feel elevation or depletion? Confirmation or confusion? You cannot afford to be around people who only see your gift but ignore your humanity. You cannot share space with those who want your presence but reject your principles. This is where many fall. Not because they're weak, but because they're kind. They want to believe everyone deserves a seat. But chosen one, you must understand, your table is not public. It is sacred. It is set by divine appointment. There will be people who try to use your spiritual identity to build their own brand. They'll say, "Let's work together," when what they mean is, "Let me borrow your light." They'll call you powerful, but their true intent is to siphon that power for themselves. They don't want to walk with you, they want to walk through you. This is how spiritual misuse begins, not with obvious manipulation, but with subtle compromise. One small yes. One innocent collaboration. One moment of ignoring the check in your spirit because the offer looks too good. And before you know it, the clarity you once had is blurred. The power you carried feels distant. The voice you spoke with becomes uncertain. Why? Because energy cannot be shared carelessly. Every connection is a transaction, and you cannot allow the purity of your calling to be diluted by proximity to the wrong people. Don't misunderstand this. You are meant to influence others. You are meant to be in rooms where your presence brings conviction and clarity. But you're not meant to bond with every soul that applauds you. Your circle must be smaller than your audience. Your access list must be shorter than your following. Because the ones who walk with you carry weight in your spiritual atmosphere, and if they are not aligned, they become liabilities, not allies. This is especially true now that the powerful are paying attention. They may not even realize how spiritually dangerous they are. Some of them are walking portals connected to energies, habits, or people that are incompatible with your path. And if you link arms with them too soon, you're not just risking distraction, you're risking spiritual defilement. That's why this season is not just about discernment, it's about discipline. You must be willing to say no, even when it's uncomfortable, even when the person seems well-meaning, even when they remind you of someone you once trusted, because your destiny is not built on potential. It's built on alignment. This isn't about pride, it's about preservation. You're not better than anyone, but you are different. You've been consecrated, set apart, refined by fire that few people even know you endured. And now that your light is visible, it must be guarded like the sacred flame it is. There are people who will see your oil and not your warfare. They'll want the results, but not the responsibility. They'll want the crown, but not the crushing. And if you let them too close, you'll find yourself carrying them instead of carrying out your calling. That is not your assignment. Remember what happened to Samson. He revealed a sacred mystery to someone who wasn't assigned to hold it, and in that moment he lost his strength. Not because God abandoned him, but because he abandoned the boundaries that kept him holy. Chosen one, don't make the same mistake. Don't allow flattery to weaken your discernment. Don't allow loneliness to override your wisdom. You've come too far, endured too much, and grown too deep to sabotage what heaven has planned next. You were never meant to walk with everyone. Your steps are too ordered, your time too sacred, your purpose too high. Walk with those who feed your faith. Connect with those who recognize your spirit. Align with those who don't just want your gift, but honor your growth. Because in this hour, your elevation will attract both allies and adversaries disguised as friends. And your ability to separate the two will determine how long you stay in divine momentum. Guard your space. Protect your frequency. Stay holy. Because what's ahead requires clean hands and a clear circle. What they see in you, the light they can't manufacture. Chosen one, there's something in you they can't create in a lab, buy with money, or simulate through technology. It's your light. It's your essence. That rare spiritual weight you carry, that stillness, that clarity, that unshakable presence. It's not from here. And the people who run the world, they see it, they feel it, and no matter how many billions they have, they know they cannot copy it. They've built empires, shaped nations, acquired knowledge, but none of it gave them the peace you walk in daily. You've been through storms they couldn't survive, and yet here you are, breathing, believing, glowing from a fire that didn't burn you, only purified you. That glow is not cosmetic, it's not taught, it's not trained. It's earned in silence, in tears, in sacred suffering, and now that it's visible, it's unstoppable. You've likely wondered what people see in you, why they stare a second too long, why they stumble over their words around you, why they ask questions that sound deeper than surface-level curiosity. It's because they're sensing something eternal in you. They may not have the language, but their spirit knows. You are not ordinary. They feel it when you walk in a room. It's not just presence, it's pressure. Your light applies pressure to every lie they've believed, every identity they've crafted, every layer they've built to avoid their own reflection. You become the mirror they weren't ready to face. And in that moment, their soul recognizes yours, not as a threat, but as a truth they've long forgotten. That's why they want you around, not because they fully understand you, but because your energy makes them feel like something real is still possible. You remind them of what they lost. You become the living proof that integrity still exists, that purity still has power, that brokenness can birth beauty. And in a world obsessed with synthetic power, your authenticity is revolutionary. They've spent their lives chasing things you were forced to let go of. Fame, attention, validation, luxury. You never had the luxury of illusion. Life forced you to be real. Pain forced you to be present. God forced you to be aligned. And now that you're standing in the fullness of that alignment, even the powerful are taking notice. They don't just see a person, they see a presence. They see someone who carries something that cannot be mimicked. That's what makes you invaluable, not what you do, but who you are. The spiritual frequency you carry is a rare code, and no matter how hard they try, they cannot decode it without the key. And you are the key. But here's what they'll never fully understand. You didn't ask for this. You didn't chase it. You were assigned. Your light came from obedience, not ambition. You got here by letting go of what others cling to. And it's that surrender that shines through you now. That's what they see. They see someone who's not moved by attention, someone who can stand in the presence of power without bowing to it, someone who can be offered the world and still choose the narrow road. That confuses them, that impresses them. But more than that, it awakens something in them. You are an interruption to their pattern, a disruption to their narrative. And even if they never tell you directly, they know your light is different. It's holy, it's ancient, it's not of this world, and it's exactly what they've been trying to manufacture with technology, influence, and science. But failing every time. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out, not by force, but by fire. And now the world is watching. But don't let that change you. Let it confirm you. Let it remind you that the very thing that made you feel out of place was the exact thing heaven needed for this moment. They see it now, that light, that calm, that divine, unexplainable essence. And no matter how desperate they get to recreate it, they never will. Because you didn't create it, heaven did. And heaven doesn't duplicate what it only intended to anoint. So walk boldly, chosen one. You are not here to impress. You are here to reflect. You are not here to compete. You are here to carry. And the light you carry is proof that heaven still speaks, and that someone, somewhere, finally listened. The cosmic transfer. Why wealth is about to shift. Chosen one. There's a divine shift happening in the spirit realm, a transfer of power, influence, and resources. The wealth of this world is being repositioned, not because of politics, not because of economics, but because of prophecy. You may have heard the ancient phrase, "The wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous." That time is now. This isn't about greed or material obsession. This is about divine justice. For too long, resources have sat in the hands of those who dishonor light. But now, heaven is realigning the flow. The ones who were overlooked, faithful in the secret place, are about to step into overflow, not to show off, but to carry out assignments that require more than just prayer. They require provision. This is why the elite are stirred, why billionaires are suddenly interested in the spiritually rich. Because they can feel what's slipping from their grip. They're watching power shift from noise to anointing, from image to integrity, from manipulation to divine movement. You are not just being seen, chosen one. You are being positioned. The time of merely surviving is ending. The age of stewardship is beginning. Resources will find the righteous. Wealth will seek out the aligned, not to make them famous, but to make them effective. This transfer isn't coming to make you comfortable. It's coming to fulfill purpose. Be ready. Stay aligned. Because what's being transferred into your hands was never meant to stay in theirs. It was always reserved for such a time as this. How to respond? If you're approached by power, chosen one, when someone with status, wealth, or global influence approaches you, it can feel overwhelming. You may wonder, why me? What do I say? How do I carry myself? But hear this clearly. When power approaches light, it must come with humility, or it doesn't get to stay. You don't need to change your voice, your posture, or your essence. Don't try to match their energy. Stand in your own. Speak slowly. Stay rooted. You are not beneath them. You are not above them. But you are carrying something they cannot fake. That's why they came to you in the first place. If they come with questions, listen carefully. Not every question needs an answer. Some need a pause. Let your spirit discern what's being asked beneath the words. And if the conversation begins to shift away from purity, from alignment, from spiritual integrity, you walk away. Don't be seduced by flattery. Don't be pressured by opportunity. And don't mistake presence for purpose. Just because someone important sees your light doesn't mean they are assigned to your path. Every moment of access is also a test of your posture. If they ask for your guidance, give truth. If they offer you a platform, check your peace. If they invite you to collaborate, pray first. And if you feel even a flicker of confusion, step back. You were never sent to chase power. You were sent to anchor it to truth. So stand firm, be bold, speak with love, but move with fire. When power knocks, don't bow, bless. And remember, your yes must still come from heaven, no matter who's standing in front of you. Your role in this era: you're not just chosen, you're sent, chosen one. This isn't just about being recognized, this is about being activated. You were not chosen just to be admired, you were sent to shift timelines, to redirect atmospheres, to carry heaven into places that forgot what holiness felt like. You are more than a gifted person. You are a divine messenger. Your presence isn't just impressive, it's prophetic. Wherever you go, something eternal is supposed to happen. You don't walk into rooms casually. You are heaven's response to something broken in that space. This is why you can't compare your journey. You weren't delayed, you were being sharpened. You weren't overlooked, you were being hidden until the moment came where your voice would be unshakable. That moment is here. The spiritual world has taken its positions. Light is rising, darkness is exposed, and in the midst of it you stand, not just as a survivor, not just as a believer, but as a sent one. Your words carry weight now. Your steps disturb the atmosphere, and your obedience to this call will determine the healing of many. Do not shrink to fit the old version of you. That version was only meant to survive the wilderness. But now you're in the birthing room of destiny. This era requires your authority, your clarity, your presence. You're not here by chance. You're here because the era demanded someone who could carry light without letting ego distort it. That's you. You're not just chosen, you're sent. Walk like it, speak like it, pray like it, live like it, because heaven is moving through you now, right in front of the world. Final prophetic instruction: stay ready. Stay hidden until called chosen one. As this message nears its end, the most critical instruction must now be spoken. You've been seen. You've been recognized, but do not step ahead of divine timing. Stay ready, but stay hidden until heaven calls your name out loud. There is a deep spiritual wisdom in waiting for the call. Not every opportunity is a signal to move. Some are simply confirmations that you're being watched. Your spirit has been lit, and the realm of influence is stirring. But premature exposure can become a snare. You are not here to impress them. You are here to be preserved for the appointed moment. Stay in your posture of prayer. Stay in your sacred stillness. While the world may try to drag you into the spotlight, remember, power that moves without instruction often self-destructs, but power that waits on God's voice multiplies beyond the natural. Your hidden season was not punishment, it was protection. And though doors are opening and names are being whispered and offers are arriving, your covering still matters. Let heaven lead. Let peace decide. Let stillness confirm what movement cannot. There will be a moment when the divine says, now. And when that moment comes, everything will align without striving. That is the moment you walk boldly, speak clearly, and take your seat without flinching. But until then, remain hidden in the spirit. Guard your oil. Guard your peace. Guard your name. This is your final instruction. Do not confuse visibility with timing. You are on schedule, and heaven is still writing the next page. Stay ready, chosen one, but stay hidden until the trumpet of your assignment sounds.